What was the most challenging scene for you to get right?
Oh my God, all of them. This whole movie, honestly, the work that I did on screen was easier than the work that I did off screen.
I had nerves because I cared so deeply about the women and the people that go through this every day.
Trying to release every single text messages between the two of them. We want the documents to be out there. We want people to make their determination based on receipt.
Whoa, it was, I saw the red flags, but they didn't look red. They looked kind of fuchsia and cute. But like, you know, I ignored.
Was there a coordinated smear campaign to bring down Blake Lively?
100% no.
Did Blake Lively just go from Hollywood royalty to courtroom catastrophe? She's the queen of charm, beloved by millions, but now Blake finds herself at the center of a scandal so explosive it could rewrite her legacy forever. Courtroom bombshells, leaked texts, and whispers of betrayal. This isn't just a headline, it's a Hollywood thriller playing out in real life. And trust me, what you're about to hear will leave you speechless. But before we dive into the receipts that have the internet spiraling, here's the burning question. Is Blake really the victim, or is there a plot twist no one saw coming? Get comfy, because this story is messier than a celebrity breakup.
There are evidence for all these points. There are text messages for all these points. And unlike any case that I've handled in my entire career, it's the one case we're going to put every single text message, every single document, everything on a website for everyone in the public to read, come to their own conclusions, and they can determine whether or not there was sexual harassment here, there was a smear campaign, or there was retaliation, because we have proof and receipts that absolutely and unequivocally show this is not.
Blake's legal team came out swinging, accusing Justin of harassment and emotional distress. The headlines, explosive. The claims, career-ending, if true. But Justin wasn't about to let the narrative spin out of control. Instead of playing defense, he fired back with a $250 million defamation lawsuit aimed at the New York Times itself. This wasn't a clapback, it was a legal missile. Then came the leaked text messages, and they didn't exactly support Blake's story. Instead of painting Justin as a villain, the messages showed Blake praising him on set, calling him incredible, and even hyping him up to the production team. Suddenly, the narrative took a sharp turn. How do you explain glowing reviews of someone you're accusing of emotional distress? The courtroom was stunned, and the jury wasn't the only group raising eyebrows. Justin's team doubled down, releasing footage from the very day Blake claimed she felt unsafe. The clip? Blake and Justin laughing like old friends between takes. The contradiction was glaring, and the question was unavoidable. Was this an honest cry for help, or a power play gone wrong?
Really important and whatnot. Blake Lively, if she was sexually harassed to such a degree in this film and in this situation, you know, she wouldn't have returned to the film. And they had sat down and they had talked about what her complaints were. The unfortunate thing is she actually didn't read the book and didn't understand what the book was.
If the leaked text messages raised eyebrows, the footage sent shockwaves. One clip in particular became the courtroom's centerpiece, a video of Blake and Justin casually chatting and laughing on set. The date? The very same day she claimed to feel unsafe. The defense wasted no time pointing out the contradiction. If she was uncomfortable, why does this footage look like a behind-the-scenes blooper reel? The jury watched as Blake smiled, gestured, and even leaned in toward Justin during their conversation. It didn't look like two people at odds. It looked like two co-stars in sync. Suddenly, the narrative wasn't about harassment. It was about credibility. And then came the twist. Multiple takes showed the same friendly dynamic throughout the day. Blake's legal team scrambled to explain it away, but the footage spoke louder than words. Was this selective memory or something more strategic? The courtroom was buzzing with speculation, and Justin's side was clearly in no rush to stop the momentum. Just when things couldn't get messier, the whispers began, and they weren't about lawsuits. Rumors swirled that Blake and Justin's on-set chemistry industry wasn't just acting. Leaked flirty text messages surfaced, the kind where a haha is thrown in for no reason just to keep the conversation going. You know the type. Fans dissected behind-the-scenes photos showing the two sharing private laughs and standing a little closer than necessary. Insiders claim Blake may have caught feelings, and when those feelings weren't reciprocated, things allegedly took a darker turn. Suddenly, the narrative wasn't just about harassment or defamation. It was starting to feel like the fallout from a personal betrayal disguised as a legal battle. But here's the kicker. Justin's team stayed silent, letting the rumors fuel the fire. Was there something they didn't want to admit, or were they letting Blake's case unravel on its own? Either way, the court of public opinion was divided, and the speculation only made things worse for Blake.
And if you get down to the specific allegations, I mean, what this film was about domestic violence. This film was about sex scenes that involve, rough behavior and domestic violence and serious issues like that. And at every turn, to the extent that Justin, anybody felt uncomfortable in any way on the film, Justin took responsibility for it.
The courtroom drama took a sharp turn when whispers of a behind-the-scenes power struggle surfaced. According to insiders, Blake wasn't content with just being the star. She wanted to call the shots. Reports claim she pushed hard for an executive producer credit on the film, a title that would have given her creative control and a major boost in Hollywood clout. But when those negotiations fell through, things allegedly soured fast. Within weeks, the harassment accusations came to light, and suddenly, the story wasn't about creative differences anymore. It was about survival. The defense argued that this wasn't just a lawsuit, it was a calculated move fueled by professional frustration. And it wasn't just speculation. Emails allegedly showed Blake making bold demands for more screen time and influence on key production decisions. One insider even revealed that tensions had gotten so bad, the production team considered shutting down filming altogether. The timing of the allegations and the failed power grab seemed too close for comfort. If there's one thing Hollywood watches closely, it's loyalty, especially when scandal strikes. And for Blake, the silence from her inner circle was deafening. Taylor Swift, known for always rallying behind her friends with cryptic posts and symbolic gestures. Nothing, not even a song lyric hinting at support. Ryan Reynolds, her famously witty husband who loves poking fun at internet drama, silent as a statue. Even Blake's co-stars, who would typically flood their feeds with supportive shoutouts during tough times, were eerily quiet. The absence of public support wasn't just noticeable, it was a statement. Fans took to social media, dissecting every like, repost, or lack thereof. Theories began swirling. Did Blake's closest allies know something damning that the public didn't? Or were they strategically stepping back to avoid getting caught in the storm? Insiders whispered that it wasn't just public silence. Some friendships behind the scenes had allegedly taken a hit long before this legal chaos. Rumors suggested that Blake's ambition and demands for more control on set had rubbed certain industry friends the wrong way. For some, this wasn't a surprise. It was the boiling point of tensions that had been simmering for years. One industry source claimed that Taylor and Ryan, typically the first to clap back at media narratives, were nervous about getting pulled into the drama. After all, loyalty is currency in Hollywood, but so is self-preservation. No one wants their brand tangled in legal fallout. Blake's fans, however, weren't convinced. Some were quick to defend her, calling out the silence as proof that Hollywood elites were fickle when the going got tough. Others believed the silence spoke volumes, that this wasn't just about PR optics, but something bigger. The lack of a single vague supportive post or cryptic lyric suggested that this wasn't a simple case of standing by a friend. Even her co-stars from It Ends With Us, a project she had poured herself into, hadn't uttered a word. Not an Instagram story, not a behind-the-scenes tribute, nothing. And in the world of Hollywood, silence doesn't just fill the void, it amplifies the noise. Meanwhile, Justin's camp was taking full advantage. They were calm, collected, and eerily quiet, not out of weakness, but because they didn't need to say anything. The evidence was doing all the talking for them. His team's strategy was clear: let Blake's narrative crumble under the weight of public speculation. Behind the scenes, Blake's PR team was in meltdown mode. Emergency meetings, late-night phone calls, and frantic strategy sessions became the new normal. One insider described the mood as desperation with a side of chaos. Reports claimed that her publicist had drafted multiple versions of potential public statements, ranging from heartfelt apologies to full denials. But every option felt like a lose-lose situation. If Blake took accountability, it could be seen as an admission of guilt. If she doubled down on her innocence, it might make her seem defensive defensive or out of touch. And Blake wasn't just facing the media, she was battling the internet. Social media was relentless, with hashtags like #BlakeGate and #JusticeForJustin trending non-stop. Every leaked text, every cryptic post, or lack thereof, was being dissected in real time by millions of online detectives. Her PR team tried to get ahead of the narrative, subtly planting stories with friendly outlets to paint her as the victim of a coordinated smear campaign. But the effort didn't land the way they hoped. In the age of receipts, vague sources and sympathy spins only added fuel to the fire. Meanwhile, Justin's team was playing it cool, dropping damning evidence like clockwork, each piece more damaging than the last. And they weren't just reacting, they were controlling the pace of the story, leaving Blake's camp struggling to keep up. To make matters worse, rumors spread that Blake had hired a crisis PR firm known for handling A-list disasters. Fans speculated that she was preparing for a full-blown media blitz, while insiders claimed she was holding emergency calls with lawyers and strategists, asking one pressing question: how do we salvage this? But while her team scrambled to reshape the narrative, Blake herself was reportedly cracking under the pressure. Sources close to the star claimed she was barely sleeping, spending hours scrolling through online reactions, and even triple-checking old messages to make sure no other damning text would surface. Justin's camp, meanwhile, was practically celebrating. Some insiders hinted that his team had more evidence waiting in the wings. Footage, emails, maybe even old social media posts, ready to drop at the perfect moment to completely dismantle Blake's defense. The question on everyone's mind wasn't just whether Blake could win in court, but whether she could survive the media firestorm long enough to rebuild her career. So here we are, Blake Lively, once Hollywood's golden girl, now fighting the battle of her life in a courtroom and the court of public opinion. The stakes? Higher than the glamour of her red carpet appearances. Her reputation, her career, and even her inner circle's loyalty are hanging by a thread. Justin Baldoni isn't just defending his name, he's playing offense with receipts that could rewrite the entire narrative. And while Blake's team scrambles to control the damage, the question remains, is there any way out of this PR nightmare? Hollywood loves a comeback story, but it also loves a cautionary tale. Will Blake rise from the ashes with a plot twist of her own, or will this scandal mark the final chapter in her fairy tale rise? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. Rumors of more evidence, potential new lawsuits, and even insider betrayals are swirling. And if the next wave of revelations is as explosive as the last, this saga could break the internet. So, what happens next? Stay tuned, because when Hollywood's brightest stars fall, the world watches, and you won't want to miss what comes next. Oh, and before you go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the next piping hot update. Trust me, this drama is only getting started.